And welcome back to Illini Drive. It is Wednesday. I'm Jake Hasan. I'm here. Alex Aguilera is here. Nathan DeHaan is here. And joining us for the first time on Wednesday, you heard him last Tuesday on the Tuesday-Thursday show with Eli and Isaac. Tommy Polson's not here because he is working on some school stuff. So joining us is Brendyn Jones. Brendyn, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Oh, we're wonderful. We're really good. You're good?
Yeah, I'm good. I've had a good day.
You good? You good? Everybody's good? Good. Good. How was your first show last week?
I was a little nervous, but
Yeah.
got it out the way, so I'm pretty good now. I'm ready.
First show is always the most nerve-wracking.
Let's do a little Q&A intro.
Okay.
I want to know.
Don's just taking control of the show.
Well,
right?
I want to know professional sports teams. What your favorite
Okay,
is
fair.
across the Big Four.
Okay. So Bulls, Bears, Blackhawks, but just because I live in Chicago, and Cubs. Even though I'm not like a big baseball guy, I love the Cubs.
What's your number one sport? Like you're not a big baseball guy, but you're a big
Basketball,
guy.
and then football.
All right. So that helps because we're not huge big on the Bulls. We're Bulls fans.
We're Bulls fans, yeah. We're
Right,
not
yeah.
huge basketball guy. I think Alex is probably the biggest basketball guy out of all of us.
Maybe
Yeah.
Tommy. Or-
Yeah.
When it comes to NBA, no.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
think
I try to be all around, but yeah, I guess basketball. I guess out of all of us. So,
Yeah.
I guess. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Well, Alex, would you call yourself a basketball guy or a baseball guy? If you had to pick.
If I had to pick, I would say basketball just because I followed it more than baseball. Baseball, I didn't really start getting into until about freshman year of high school. I've always followed baseball, but I didn't get serious about it until high school. But basketball is something I've always followed since I was 5. So, yeah, I'll say basketball.
Brendyn, sports in high school?
I play football. And
This is supposed to be about
for
him.
fun.
Well, I'm curious, Alex.
All right.
For fun, senior year, I messed around with lacrosse a little bit, but no, mostly football.
Would you play in football?
Outside linebacker,
What number were you?
40.
It's a good number.
Why 40?
Well, elementary school I was 43, and then I was taken when I got to high school. So
Ooh,
I was
that's tough.
I like 40.
That's tough.
Okay.
Golf guy?
I used to write for golf, but never played golf.
Never, yeah.
Yeah.
Soccer guy?
Alex is a big soccer
No,
guy.
unfortunately not. I'm
Okay.
trying to get
You see
into it.
Tottenham today?
Yeah, man.
No Harry Kane, no Dele
I'm
Alli?
excited.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so pumped. Even though I like Dortmund, but Tottenham's my team, so I was stoked for that. Anyway.
Best number 40 ever. I'm looking up right now.
Gale Sayers.
Yeah, Gale Sayers.
Sayers
Yeah,
gotta be,
I think
yeah.
is the winner.
Is there anybody close even? I can't imagine.
I can't think.
I'm trying to look
Did
at
Bartolo
like,
Colon play 40? Where 40?
I
Does he play?
I just looked up football.
Oh, okay, just football.
Just for the purpose of
Only Gale Sayers.
I know Sale was 43.
Yeah, no.
No, it wasn't.
That's
who?
Chris Sale.
Oh, Chris
Sale.
Sale. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was like, do I have that wrong?
I was like, no.
What was I say? Bartolo Colon was 40.
Yeah.
So you have that going for you.
Hey, all right.
I looked this up today. He's currently the wins leader by 1 over CC Sabathia in
For
terms of-
active pitchers?
active pitchers by 1.
Wow.
And
And Sabathia is retiring after this season.
After this year, yeah.
and number 3, Verlander. You forget that he's 35.
No,
And-
he looks pretty old.
I
He looks
forget.
closer to
35?
47.
I forget because he dated Kate Upton.
He's married to Kate Upton.
Yeah,
They're
I think they got married.
They got a kid.
I just remember her when he lost the Cy Young, and she went nuts on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
She went nuts. It was really funny.
That's what you want out of a wife, though.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
even though he already has
I remember,
5 or
when I
something,
heard
don't
that
know.
they were together, I was like, Kate Upton and Justin Verlander.
Justin Verlander. I mean, probably because we were in early high school, elementary school, but he for a while there, he went on a run. He was
when he was with the Tigers.
he was a beat. He probably should have won an MVP.
Yeah.
That one year, because I think he had 2 no-hitters in a year. Him and Roy Halladay were going at it for a while there.
Oh, rest in peace.
Yep.
R.I.P., yeah.
Nobody's close in terms of number 40. There's a surprising amount of running backs. Yeah, to Gale Sayers.
Huh.
Okay.
Interesting.
I don't know. Just those are the only 2 players
Yeah.
that come to mind when I think of 40.
I can't believe you got Bartolo Colon off the top of your head like that.
Yeah,
you just had that one ready.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Brendyn, for that lovely intro. But this is a sports show, despite what you might think. And if you've listened to the show, it is a sports show most of the time. But we have to get into Illinois basketball. We talked on Monday at length about Georgi Bishanishvili, how awesome he's been this year. We've already talked about how awesome Io's been all year. And now Illinois, 3-game win streak. huge wins over Michigan State, Nebraska, and Rutgers. And, I mean, they're cruising right now. They look better than they have all year. We talked about how a month ago it looked like they might not even get to 10 wins. And now you're on a 3-game win streak, and you beat the number 9 team. You beat a bubble team in Nebraska. And, I mean, Rutgers is Rutgers, but still, they give you a good fight there for a little while. And they sent you to overtime. And now you're going to Columbus, going to Ohio State. And I personally feel really good about this game. I don't know about you guys, because I just feel like this is the most complete Illinois team we've seen. I feel like this is the best they've looked for any stretch in the last 2 years. And, I mean, Ohio State just isn't as good as they were last year and even the previous 2 years, really. They can't really defend. No, they can't really score that much as they did last year.
So,
Keita Bates-Diab, losing him, it's hurt them a lot.
It's huge. But you said that. I was surprised when I looked it up. 72.4 points per game.
Really?
That is because a cupcake of an offseason. Or a non-conference. I mean, you have a solid win at Cincinnati, but, like, you're playing a lot of, Samfords, Cleveland, States, Bucknell. I think this is Hampton. No, the High Point Panthers. I don't
never even heard of that.
Yeah, I don't recognize.
No clue what that is.
Don't recognize most of the people that they played in their non-conference. So, I mean,
Yikes.
they okay. So you want to get into this? We'll know your enemy.
No, I don't want to. This is Illini Drive, and we talk about Illinois basketball all the time. But no, I don't want to get into the preview of the game, Nathan.
Know your enemy, Ohio State. So they're 16-7, like I said, cupcake of a non-conference schedule. They're 6-6 in the Big Ten. They started 13-1. And that's because of, like I said, the easy schedule. They average 72.4 points per game, 64.8 points against. Their head coach Holtman said at the beginning of the year, quote, "It's hard to change guys that are consumed with themselves." Sort of a strange quote for your head coach to come out saying.
Wait, say that one more time?
It's hard to change guys that are consumed with themselves. I don't know if that's I can't tell if you can positive spin that at all.
I don't think you can. No,
Yeah,
that's pretty cut and dry.
Right.
When did he say that?
It was 69 days ago. So I didn't do the math on exactly how long ago 69 days was.
That's like 3 months. No, 2 months. 2 months and a week ish.
Yeah.
So
early season.
So what? November, December, December.
2 months and some change.
So like right when they got into conference play ish.
I guess
around there.
I mean, I guess you could sort of turn it saying hard to change guys when they're consumed with themselves as if they're consumed with bettering themselves. If that's sort of the way that he was meaning it, I don't know. I didn't read too much of the context into that. I saw that and I was like, wow.
Yeah, it doesn't look great.
The one non-conference loss, home against Syracuse. I mean, that's a solid loss.
Syracuse is a good team.
Then once they hit the Big Ten, so they beat Illinois last time they met in the United Center, 77-67. That wasn't the same Illinois team that we're seeing right now. That was an
Definitely
Illinois
not.
team that was losing to FAU and losing by a lot to teams like Missouri. Then they got into the meat of the schedule. Lost to Michigan State, lost at Rutgers, lost at Iowa, lost home against Maryland, lost home against Purdue. So a 5-game skid to start things off, not great. And then they got a win at Nebraska, lost at Michigan, and now they're on a 3-game winning streak with Rutgers, Penn State, and at Indiana. At Indiana, close game, 3-point game. I don't know. It seems like they were scoring a lot at the beginning of the season. I mean, even the Big Ten games, they had 77 against Michigan State. They had 79 against Minnesota. But other than that, 55 in the win against Indiana. It feels like they're a team that's a bunch of unknowns, especially losing somebody like Keita Bates-Diab.
Right.
Their big guy is Caleb Wesson. He's forward down low. 14.7 points per game, 6.4 rebounds, 52% from the field. His older brother, Andre, also plays a lot, but he's not as prominent. I'm not totally sure if he starts. I'll be honest. I haven't watched a lot of Ohio State basketball this year.
No kidding.
Yeah. But then C.J. Jackson is their stud guard, 12.8 points per game, 3.6 assists. That leads the team. 1.2 steals. That leads the team. Yeah, I don't know. But the thing is that if it's a shootout, if it's back and forth, if it's high offense and high octane, I like Illinois because that plays to their strengths of turning the ball over, getting extra possessions, and especially with the way the offense has run recently, with getting everybody involved. I'm super unsure about this game. Like you said, the more that you think about it, the more that you like it. The more that I think about it, the more that I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say Ohio State's roster page is very obnoxious because they have all of their players' headshots. It's not just a roster, and that's just really, really obnoxious. Anyway,
Not user friendly.
no, it's not. It's really, really obnoxious.
My thing, when you look back at the game where Illinois lost to Ohio State back in January, I believe it was, this was a different Georgie that we
Oh,
seen.
yeah.
Like, it's all about confidence. He's been building his confidence. He just won Big Ten Player of the
that
Week.
game,
Like,
but
he
yeah.
shot 3 shots the last time that they played, and one of them was a 3. So, he comes in, he gets however many shots he wants because he's confident, and the team plays through him. I think that this can be a win for Illinois.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and Ohio State's 2 biggest guys are the same size as Georgie. They're
Okay.
both, I mean, Georgie plays about 6'10", 6'9", 6'10". Ohio State has 2 guys that same size, and then you think about Illinois also has Adonis De La Rosa and Samba Kane there, 2 legitimate 7-footers who have played well, especially Adonis lately has been playing really well.
Mm-hmm.
He gave you really good minutes against Rutgers. I mean, even in games that Illinois hasn't matched up well size-wise, Minnesota, Michigan State, they played well. And especially, again, lately, Illinois, this isn't the same Illinois team. It's in Columbus, but I like this for Illinois. I mean, even Ohio State's guards, I don't see one person on here who matches up well with Io. I mean, other than a forward. And, I mean, most of their guards are on the smaller side, too. So I don't see anybody keeping up with that.
What's Io listed as?
6'6". I saw 6'6".
You saw 6'6"?
I've
I
seen
saw 6'5".
I've seen 6'6".
Yeah, this is going to be weird to watch as an Illinois fan. We're the bigger team, and it's not close. CJ Jackson, their point guard, 6'1", and Luther Muhammad, their shooting guard, 6'3". You know what? Trent is, I think, 6'1".
6'1", yeah.
I mean, on a sheet, I think he's maybe 5'11", 6 foot in real life. But then, yeah, Io being 6'5", 6'6", right there's a size advantage. And personally, I'd like to see Aldana start this game. I'd like to see.
No, I don't think you'll see that.
That's okay, and it's personally, but I'd like to see if you can just outsize the team for once and just bring people off the bench. And if it doesn't work, you sit him back down. You run Georgie as your 5 again, and you work that into it. But the way that he's been playing recently, you could just be bigger than them and have Georgie at the 4, and then have AJ or Kipper or Tevion run that 3 and really just see what that's like.
This could be a big Tevian game.
I think so too. And that's why. But we have next season where we have Coffee Cockburn coming in. When you have Antoine January coming in, when you're going to get that size, I'd like to see Underwood maybe be like, okay, what's this offense like? What does my system look like with the size that we're going to get? And use De La Rosa playing good basketball right now in a matchup that you could just rebound over them at all times. And their tallest player is 6'9".
Yep. And so their 2 players that are their tallest players are both 6'9". It's Caleb Wesson and Jadon Ledee. Ledee's only averaging 6 minutes a game, so really you're only talking about Wesson here. And Georgie's the same size as them. I think Adonis has played so well because he's been used in that like rotational role where he can just come in and be that enforcer and bully other guys a little bit, and then you take him out, put Georgie in for that instant offense again. Because, I mean, Underwood talked about it after the Rutgers game. He didn't put Adonis in late in the game because Georgie was just cruising. If Georgie gets on that roll again, there's no reason to bring Adonis in like that unless you really want to try and lock Ohio State down. But, I mean, you're already bigger than their guards with Io. If you put in Tevi, and even with Kipper, you're bigger than most of their forwards. And then Georgie's bigger than their biggest guy already.
I would like to see if Georgie gets in foul trouble early, De La Rosa coming in, trying to get their bigger players in foul trouble because he's 7 foot 260, like
Probably closer to 280.
How are you gonna guard him?
Yeah.
In the post besides fouling. So I would love to see that. And then if they have to double team whoever in the paint, get the guards open for some deep range shots. I'd love to see that.
Right. I mean, you even saw it against Rutgers when Io would go in and Aaron Jordan or Trent Frazier were out there. It, worked right into Illinois' favor because Rutgers didn't know what else to do because they had to collapse inside every time. So, see, now I've talked myself into it even more. Nathan, do we have a spread on that game yet?
I don't see one.
I would really like to see that because
I imagine Ohio State's favored.
I imagine they would be, but it can't be by much. The way Illinois has been playing lately, and I mean that's really it. Just because Illinois has been playing so well lately, it just wouldn't make sense to. I would have to guess it's got to be like 4.
And I wanted to hear sort of the other perspective. I'm reading the Buckeyes Wire at USA Today.
Okay.
They talk about how this matchup is not good for Ohio State, not only because of Illinois playing well, but Ohio State turns the ball over more than anybody in the Big Ten. Illini forced a lot of turnovers.
They might be most in the Big Ten forcing turnovers.
They've won. I mean, Illini have won 4 of their last 5. So if they can't take care of the ball, then this very quickly becomes, like I said, fast. And that would become like Michigan State all over again. Them turning the ball over, Illinois capitalizing, making them play faster than they want to. That again playing into Illinois' hands, and then I'm talking myself into a blowout here.
I don't know about a blowout.
Honestly,
I would never bet for that, but
honestly, I'm gonna be the pessimist that I always am about this team, and I actually feel like we lose this game.
really, just because it's in Columbus, or what? Like what's
we
your...
haven't won a road game at all this season. I mean, we had two neutral site games that we had, and we beat Maryland, but on the road in general, we haven't won.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like an absolute trap game.
Yeah, so I will say that Illinois is 0-5 away from home in conference this year. They're 4-2 at home and 1-1 neutral sites.
Granted, we have been playing well recently.
Right.
I mean, Rutgers was a little bit close going into overtime. I just feel like this would be the game where, okay, yes, I mean, Ohio State hasn't played the best competition, and they haven't been a very good team in recent years. But, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like this could be a game where, kind of like with Michigan State,
on the other side of things, how
Right.
it was a trap game for Michigan State.
right? This would, in a sense, be a trap game.
They go
for
in soft.
Right.
I thought Rutgers would be the trap game, and I think...
I didn't think, no, I feel like this would be the trap game.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting, because I thought for sure Rutgers, and I think we saw it a little bit with Rutgers being the trap game, and they were able to still grind that one out.
Yeah.
I feel like they maybe got over that. And I'm looking at Illinois as 8.5-point underdogs in this game against Ohio State.
I was gonna say ESPN's their percentages gives Illinois a 14.1% chance to win this game. It is overwhelmingly favoring Ohio State, which is, I mean, okay, obviously we're Illini Drive. We watch Illini. I can't remember the last time I missed a game. It feels like this is something that we know that other people don't. We're surprisingly not being outsized by anybody, and even when we were against Michigan State, we saw Nick Ward was a non-factor. I feel like we got it's almost like Rutgers was a trap game because we didn't think it was a trap game. It was like, they should continue on this momentum, continue with the win streak. Maybe Ohio State is the trap game.
That's fair.
Maybe they got that sort of stumble out of the gates of a hot team away, like done there. They've had all the way since Saturday to prep for going to Columbus. I really see Illini win.
Okay.
Ohio State...
I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Call back. Ohio State is only 500 at home too. They're only 3-3,
Okay.
And they're 2-3 away. All of their wins, it's like Nathan said, non-conference they were 10-4 at home, but in conference play they're 3-3. Granted, they have that 3-game win streak, but I mean, I'm kind of with Nathan. I feel like that we've seen this team so much.
I hope I'm wrong.
A 4-game win streak would be really nice.
It's just I don't know, like this game just doesn't sit right with me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have a better explanation than that.
Because you know what it is? I'll tell you, it's that we've been conditioned over the last 3 years to just expect the worst, and that every time we get our hopes up, we get our heart stomped on.
Yeah.
And so we're just conditioned for failure at this point.
Yeah, so I'm just like, you know what? I'm just waiting for that game that we just dropped the ball on, and I'm just like, okay, well, there it is.
I'm hoping it was the FAU game and we're over it at this point.
Yeah, but if we finally get this first road win of the season, then I'll feel a lot better.
This Buckeyes Wire website has Illinois winning the game 68-64. A USA
State.
Today sub category for the Ohio State Buckeyes men's basketball team predicts an Illinois win.
I mean,
Wow.
Can you blame them? I know Georgia's averaging 25 a game on this win streak, something like that. I mean, especially over the last 2, he's averaging like 27. And then Iowa's still been playing really well, even though he hasn't been like the lead guy. All right, let's just do predictions because we're like inching there. I do think Illinois wins this game. I think tomorrow in Columbus, I think they get that first road win. It's the monkey off their back. They've talked about it all year. when it was the first conference win. All right, we got this. Now it's time for us to throw punches. Then when they beat Michigan State, all right, now this was our statement game. Now it's time for us to throw punches. Now I think they'll be able to say after this one, all right, this was our first away conference game that we won. Time to throw punches again. Like, I feel like for the last few weeks they've been talking about, all right, it's our turn. It's our turn. We've been getting beat up on. Now it's our turn. And I feel like so far they've lived up to that. So I think that they're able to do this. I think it'll be... I've gone low with like my last 4 predictions. Now I feel like it's going to be... I'm going to say Illinois wins 75-70. I think it's close up until like the last 2 minutes. I think we get an Illinois pull away. I think it's a huge Georgia game again. I think nothing changes. Obviously, after looking at Ohio State and their lack of size, I think this is a huge Georgia game. I think Tevian could really make a big impact in this game too. He's been getting consistent minutes. I've loved it. He's played. I think he's played pretty well. So I would love to see a lot from Tevian. I think Ellen Griffin gets a little bit of run here too.
Brendyn?
Yeah, definitely. Well, you guys have talked me into the whole, Ohio State is too small.
Let's go.
Optimism is one thing that we do very well here.
I'm with you with the whole Georgie having his game. I can definitely see Tevian having his game. Just the way, we saw against whoever when he was, catching these lobs and just like putting them in. If you're not tall enough, you can't guard against that. So,
right.
He's just way too athletic. He can also, space the floor out. I see him having a good game. I think Io does what, Io does. As far as predictions, score-wise, I'm going to have to say, I don't know. I think Illinois is getting 80.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel good about it.
I like it.
Okay.
And Ohio State, I'll put them at, 73.
So 80-73 is what
80,
you're calling?
73.
All right. I'm kind of with you. I'm not calling 80. I'm calling just a little shy.
I'm just optimistic.
No. And
I went 75. So
yeah, no, and it paid off for me when I went 80 against Rutgers last game. Granted, overtime helps, but we had it was 86 going into overtime. It was 86-86 at the final score. I'm going with a 78-69 win.
Okay.
I mean, a pretty sizable margin of victory. I think that's a lot of that comes from garbage time free throws.
Sure.
I'm going to put a note on here, too, that I'd like to see Aldonis, but I'm calling a Trent Frazier game.
Ooh. He's been shooting over 50% in his last 5 games from 3.
I think
So
quietly.
I like that.
He's been quietly very good.
Exactly. He's still the team's leading scorer with 14.7 a game.
Yep.
He's been shooting amazing from 3. I think this is one of those games where he goes into a hostile environment, and similar to how he did this against Iowa and last year, he
did against Wisconsin last year, too.
and he's starting to feel it. Now he goes in there, and he's like, all right, like, we're on this
There we
win
go.
streak. Like, I'm going to be the man this game. I'm hot from 3. I think he jacks up at least 10. And
Wow. 10 from 3?
yeah. I mean, he shot 9 last game.
Did he really?
5 for 9. Wow.
right.
I'm calling. He shoots at least 10 3-pointers, and he just reminds everybody, like, oh, by the way, like, I was all Big Ten freshman last year.
Yeah, he was.
I'm kind of still the man on this team.
How many is he scoring?
Call 30. I dare you.
Nah, I'm gonna go 21.
All right. Alex?
I say we lose.
I knew you were going to do it, too. I knew you were going to do it. We got to start making him go first.
Yeah, we do.
Well, I'm a hard man to please. I'm a hard man to please.
It's just a radio show, man.
I say we lose 68-64.
They cover, though.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I don't. It just seems like such a trap game. I don't feel good about this game for some reason. I don't know why. If I'm wrong, great. I don't care. I'm be totally happy if I'm wrong. But we just had played terrible on the road. Granted, we weren't the same team. A couple months back playing on the road. But I don't know if we get this road win. I think I might have to start becoming a more optimist like you guys.
Do we out rebound them?
You have to.
Yeah,
Have
honestly, if you do not out rebound Ohio State,
Then you're definitely going to lose.
Right.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
like that's just a given. Like you just have to. There's no excuse that you just have to. I don't know what else to say.
You know what Alex's issue is?
What's up?
He's been on the sideline for too long, and he's watched up close these teams hurt him personally. So I think it's just in his brain forever now. But all right.
Real quick before we go to break, honestly, I think what did it for me was last year's Michigan State game.
Basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Well, I mean, it was entertaining to watch, but just
I thought you were going to say the Penn State game in football this year, because that was tough.
But
That
that's
was heartbreaking.
no, that was too.
But
that's
still, that conditions into your brain like
Yeah,
the
no, it
Illinois
does.
That Monday show I will never forget.
cycle of failure. Yeah, that was
so
that
it was
Oh, yeah.
sad.
That was
like we didn't
depressing.
want to talk.
That
It was
was
like
depressing.
the second break between everybody's point.
but that Michigan State game, just seeing like Miles Bridges just dunk all over us, and me being like 2 feet away from him, I was just like, okay, this is
Does it make you feel better that he's in the dunk contest now, though?
a little bit. Yeah, I could say, I saw that guy up close.
Silver
like,
lining.
Ohio State averages 34.7 rebounds per game. Illinois, 33. Granted, we usually get out rebounded because we're
Yeah.
smaller than teams, but
But-
still they average more, and they are also a small team.
Minnesota averaged more than Illinois, though, too. And we thought the
Minnesota
same
game
thing.
was weird.
That was a very weird game, but it was the start of Illinois' recent success. So
It's true.
We'll see.
yeah, that's our preview. We're going to go to break real quick. When we come back, we got to talk about the Joe Flacco trade, that crazy Duke game that happened last night. Isaiah Thomas is back, and Manny Machado has officially been a free agent longer than he was a Dodger. So we'll talk about all of that when we come back, so stick around after this break. All right, we are back. Illini Drive Wednesday edition. Jake Hasan, Nathan DeHaan, Alex Aguilera, and Brendyn Jones filling in for Tommy Polson. We're all here. We just talked about Illinois, Ohio State. Of course, Alex was the only one that picked a loss again. Even with Brendyn being the new guy, he channeled Tommy's optimism with us, so that was cool. But we got to talk about something that happened in the NFL today. Joe Flacco's tenure with the Baltimore Ravens has ended. He gets traded to the Denver Broncos for a 4th-round pick. And
Wait, that's not confirmed.
it's okay. Allegedly been reported. It is agreed upon a trade to send Joe Flacco to Denver for a 4th-round pick. Are you happy now?
I'm just saying. I read the article that said that the trade can't officially be processed until the league new year begins March 13th.
March 13th. Yeah.
So and Schefter's story said nothing, and Schefter is my trade god that I trust more than anyone. He's
Okay.
the Woj of NFL.
Okay, it's agreed to in principle.
Okay. So
That
Joe Flacco,
Joe Flacco-
haha, Clinton Dix, same value. Awesome.
You still a little hurt about that. Nathan's a Packers fan, by the way. So
So hurt.
in the NFL season, that was a fun little thing that went on all season.
It was a thing, that's for sure.
But
Nobody's saying it was fun.
it was fun for us.
Yeah, it was.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, Denver, I'm convinced that John Elway is just infatuated with getting mediocre quarterbacks that'll never be better than him and never like overtake him as the best quarterback in Broncos history. And he's just going to rely on defenses to get him there and be like, oh, like aging Peyton Manning can do it for us. Like Case Keenum, maybe. Now he's hitching his hopes to Joe Flacco.
Paxton Lynch.
Oh, my God. Paxton Lynch. Jesus. Brock Osweiler. That was for a while there. But yeah, I mean, this isn't a good trade for Denver. I don't get it. You're essentially getting a marginally better Case Keenum. You had your quarterback on the roster already, and then you gave up a 4th-round pick for him. So what is the deal here? And the thing is, Denver's Super Bowl odds got worse. They were 100-1, and now they're 125-1 with Joe Flacco penciled in as their starter.
Yeah. The thing I don't get about this is that
All of it?
yeah, no, all of it. You mentioned the Peyton Manning situation. Joe Flacco is not Peyton Manning.
No.
Not even close.
Super Bowl MVP?
Okay,
the one
okay,
time.
sorry.
One time.
That one, yeah.
That 1 year.
But even, other than the quarterback difference, the year before Peyton Manning the year before they won the Super Bowl, Denver was 3rd in total defense. This past season, they were 17th. There's no way your defense is going to carry you, not to mention the Super Bowl, not even to the playoffs, maybe not even to a 500 record,
It's possible. The AFC West is tough. Denver finished 6-10 this year, with Kansas City and Los Angeles both finishing 12-4.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Denver has hired Vic Fangio. Best of luck to him in Denver. We're gonna miss him in Chicago, but it's fine. Everything's fine. But no, he's the new head coach. They're hoping he revamps the defense. You still have Von Miller and Bradley Chubb there. His first name's Bradley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edge rusher is Bradley.
Yeah.
With a running back. is Nick.
Okay. Want to make sure I had that right. But you still have Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, and you still have a decent defense in line there. But like Brendyn said, it was 17th, and you still weren't that good. Vic Fangio can only do so much. What? You're hoping for maybe he gets you in the top 10, top 12-ish is what you're looking at. Because let's be honest, when you're in the same division as, Phillip Rivers and Patrick Mahomes, your defense is going to take a hit. You're not going to do great. And so you're going to have to be an offensive team. And, Philip Lindsay, great. He's a good running back. He did great for them last year. But we know this is a quarterback's league. Everybody knows that. Mahomes. I mean, look at him last year. Even Trubisky. Deshaun Watson. Andrew Luck came back last year. I mean, look what happened to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They hitched their hopes to Blake Bortles again after having an awesome defense. They went from 13-3 to 5-11. They went from first to worst. Not great.
What this trade tells me is that the Broncos didn't like any of the rookie quarterbacks. It tells me that they were like, okay, Case Keenum played his way out of our starting role. We're gonna rent somebody for 2-3 years and see if we like a quarterback prospect that comes up in any of the drafts in those years, or if somebody else comes up on the market. But this buys us a little time. But it's also weird because it's like, I mean, you're trading for a guy that just lost his job to a rookie quarterback from the last year's draft.
Right.
And you and why upgrade this? Why spend the draft picks, spend the money that Flacco is going to be owed, $20+ million for the next 3 years?
It just feels very unnecessary.
Exactly.
Very.
Yeah.
It's a suicide move for the Broncos. I feel like it doesn't make sense. They're going to owe Case Keenum $10 million if they cut him.
Right.
And so it feels like you're just spending a lot of money at the quarterback position for an upgrade? Question mark. According
to Vegas, no, because their odds got worse. No, you're right. I mean, Denver's picking 10th in this upcoming draft. And you're right about it. Says that they didn't like any of the quarterbacks. Dwayne Haskins, Drew Lock, even Kyler Murray to an extent. It says that they didn't like him. The kid from Duke, whose name I forget. But it just says that they didn't like anyone, and they're trying to take that bridge to Fromm and Tua and Herbert and whoever else might come out next year. That's all it says about it. So maybe it's a bridge, but then that's another year older Von Miller. That's another year older everyone on your defense is. Your offensive line, your skill positions. I mean, yeah, they have Cortland Sutton, but he's at 2 at best. Emmanuel Sanders is another year older than. The Broncos, I just don't know what the plan is. What's the plan here? Credit to the Ravens, though. Yeah. I mean, they chose their direction. Lamar Jackson was unbelievable last year in the limited. I mean, how many games did he start? Like 7?
Was it 7? No.
I thought he cracked 10, but he might not have.
Maybe I'm thinking of week 7 that he came in.
Maybe. That might be it.
7 feels like too low.
You're doing our research. We're trying.
He played in all 16. He was 7-1. Or he was 6-1.
Okay, so 7 games.
7.
So who said 7? Was that you? Did you say 7?
I said 7.
Oh,
No,
you
he said 7.
Okay, never
I was
mind.
at 7.
Went
As a
opposite
start-
end of the room.
as a starter.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, technically 8 because of the playoff game.
fair. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So 8 starts into his career. Lamar Jackson said, all right, this is our guy. We're ready. Joe Flacco, thanks for the ring. Thanks for everything. See ya. It's the right move, I think. I mean, Flacco hasn't been good in 2-3 years.
Yeah, no, I love it. The Ravens defense was great last year. I think you could look at like a more, Bears situation where you have a quarterback who has a lot of athleticism and has a powerful arm. He just needs to get better at, the mental aspect of being a quarterback
Processing.
in the NFL. But, I'm a real huge Lamar Jackson fan. I think that in the next few years, the Ravens can be really something good.
Yeah, I really like Lamar Jackson too. I think there was no reason to think that he can't be your future quarterback.
Yeah.
I think we're looking at a situation that in a couple of years we're thinking, man, the Ravens got a steal at 32 with him. I mean, because he didn't put up like a lot of counting numbers, but also those 8 games and he ran all over everybody. And I mean, you have a true dual threat quarterback, which we've seen how that helps you in this league. How much it helps to have not just a pure passer, but even I thought watching him, I only watched a couple games of him, 1 or 2, maybe 3 at the most, but it seemed like he was a better passer than we thought too. It seemed like he was more advanced in the process, and clearly the Ravens feel that. And I mean, if you're the Ravens, why wouldn't you? The Steelers are going to lose their star running back and their star wide receiver seemingly, and Roethlisberger's declining fast. Their defense isn't what it used to be. So this division's up for the taking because Cincinnati's never going to be anything. And Cleveland, I still think they're on the rise. But I mean, if it's between you and them, you got to feel pretty good about your chances.
I don't know. I'm in on the Browns.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Even if it's between you and Cleveland, like, I mean,
Cleveland.
right, it's Cleveland, but also
Sound like Joakim Noah.
if it's down to
Who
you
vacations
two,
in Cleveland?
Right.
everybody
Quote of
knows
all time.
And also, like, Lamar Jackson versus Baker Mayfield is going to be electric. Like 2 times a year. That'll be really awesome.
I know you've kind of already touched on it, but as quarterback of the future, as them moving in this direction, Lamar Jackson, quarterback of the future, how do you feel? Like do you
If
think,
I'm a Ravens fan,
just as an observer, just as somebody that sees that they are deciding they're going with Lamar Jackson after seeing 8 games, how do you feel?
I think you got to feel pretty good. I mean, even as an observer, I think it's the right move. I think let's say even Lamar Jackson doesn't reach like his full potential, I think he's still a better option than Flacco. I still think he gives you a better chance than Flacco to win.
I don't know. Because I watched the Chargers game, of course, playoff game. I also saw them against the Browns when Lamar Jackson was starting. It's just did the Chargers, lay out the blueprint of how to stop him, running 6+ DBs every game and having just a lot of people that can cover a lot of ground very quickly to make sure that Lamar Jackson doesn't get loose on you. And because I think that's going to be one of the biggest things I'm watching in the next NFL season is do defenses figure him out, because it's no doubt that he gave defenses issues. And clearly, I mean, he went 6-1. He brought a Ravens team that looked like they were going to move on to Lamar Jackson because Flacco wasn't doing it for them, from a run-of-the-mill team to an AFC North champion. So I don't know how I feel. That's like I said, going to be something that I watch very closely, because it feels a lot like RG3.
Cool, man.
And I know that
Same
I was
quarterback
thinking
room.
that too,
They're in
a
the
little
same
bit.
quarterback room now too.
I mean, because you said he threw the ball better than expected, and people forget that RG3 was just throwing bombs at Baylor, and even though Illinois beat him in the Texas Bowl, 2010, whatever.
I don't remember what exact bowl
the
it was.
year before he bust out and won a Heisman.
Yeah.
It feels a lot like RG3, and we're seeing how that works out. If Lamar Jackson doesn't get hurt, then we actually see maybe what RG3 would have become. I don't know. I'm just gonna say I don't know a lot, because it feels very weird, and I like it from the Ravens standpoint of, okay, we're gonna move on and we're gonna at least get something for Flacco rather than having to cut him and paying him all this money. Let's make Denver pay him all this.
And a
money.
4th round pick isn't that bad. That's not a bad return at all.
No, not at all.
For the Ravens, it was a great move
Yeah.
from the Ravens standpoint.
To counterpoint what you said though, Nathan, like, I think now if you're Lamar Jackson, you're the Ravens. Going into, you're like, all right, Flacco's going to be our guy. We're still going to prepare as if he's the starter. Then you get 8 games of Lamar Jackson. Yeah, maybe the Chargers lay out the blueprint, but now you have a full offseason to work on that. And now you have now maybe teams are like, all right, this is how we do it. 6 DBs, like, contain them. Now the Ravens have all year to be like, okay, now how do we flip that on them? How do we flip this on their head? Maybe we work on pocket passing. Maybe we work on just your pure passing, because we know your athleticism can bail you out in a pinch. So I feel like it's kind of like Trubisky in a way that there's a small sample size, and maybe it wasn't as great as you wanted to be, and maybe there were some struggles there against certain schemes, but now you have a full offseason to work on them.
I don't know. Is Gus Edwards the running back for the future though? Like I think the Ravens might benefit from getting skill position players either in the offseason through trades and acquisitions or drafting, because that defense is already a top 5. I'll say it.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
That's fair.
And Michael Crabtree's your number 1. Willie Snead is your number 1.
They got to make moves there at the skill positions, but I mean, running back. When was the last time the Ravens had like a good running back?
It was when Ray Rice.
The heyday of Ray Rice, 2009 maybe, 2008.
Yeah, maybe.
So I mean, like,
it was later than that.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
Whatever.
Sure.
Ray Rice is
But
older now.
I mean, Baltimore's never had great skill positions on offense, other than like Dennis Pitta, maybe tight end.
Yeah.
Eh.
Who's their tight end now? I can't even think.
I think he went to Minnesota. I want to say like something Max or Max something. They used to have Steve Smith.
Right.
They had him
have
for a while.
Anquan Bolden?
Yeah, and Bowl was like one of the biggest reasons they won that Super Bowl, because he like went off in that postseason. Then he went to San Francisco.
Who was the other running back? I think he was before Ray Rice.
Before Rice?
Before Rice. Was it Willis McGahee? Wasn't he?
No, I think he was on Denver.
after the Ravens, maybe. I feel
Right.
like
I want to say Wes
Was
McGahee was with the Ravens.
Was he really?
Because I remember I used to play with the Ravens a lot when I played Madden, and I want to say Wes McGahee was the running back, and he had like a 93 overall rating, and I was like, oh my god.
Ravens tight ends are Nick Boyle, Vince Mayle, and Max Williams.
Max Williams, that's what it was. Yeah, you're right, Alex.
Yeah.
2007 to 2010.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I knew there was somebody before Ray Rice.
Let's see. He averaged 2007 80 yards a game. Ugh, yuck. Then 51, 34, 25.
Yeah, there was one year that he was
Yuck.
decent with the Ravens, and then after that, he
That's
just fell
gross.
off.
Yeah,
I remember
80.
that 1 year.
Yeah, he had 7 touchdowns and 80 yards per game in 2007.
Okay, that was the year.
And then he had another Pro Bowl year in 2011 with Denver. 25 yards a game. Yuck. That's gross. But yeah, I think this is a good move for the Ravens. I think they'll probably still win that division next year, barring some weird thing with Pittsburgh that they miraculously keep Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. But that's just not going to happen. Let's talk about that Duke game because that was something else. You are up by 23. You're Louisville. You're up by 23.
With like
And
9 minutes
yeah.
remaining.
Something like that.
I have it pulled up right here. At the exact time moment was 9:58 left to play.
Okay, so
Up
10.
23, 10 at home against the number. Yeah, you're the number 16 Louisville Cardinals. Blackout crowd, everyone behind you because everyone's going to give Duke their best.
Mm-hmm. And you lose by 2. Lose by 2,
Yep.
and
That's
that
why
was just
it's
brutal to watch.
It's weird. Like, I like Duke, but man, like, they're just annoying.
You could tell though. You could tell as soon as they went on like a 7-0 run, they cut it to like 14 or 13, and the Louisville crowd went quiet, and they like you could tell they got anxious. They're like, "All right, is this happening?" Like, because this is probably happening. The most disrespectful shot of the night was R.J. Barrett taking up the court, bounces it between his legs behind him to Cam Reddish, who in stride hits the 3 right in Louisville's face, right in their fans' face. I think that cut it to 2 or something.
Yeah.
And that was the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen in
You
my
can
life.
hate this team all you want. I totally get it, but man, like, they're good.
I mean, they have 3 guys. They're going to get drafted in the top 5 or 6.
Yeah,
If they don't
it's
win the
nuts.
championship this year, it's a bust.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I watched that first half and I was like, this is why Duke probably won't win a championship is because they could fall apart like this. They just couldn't make a basket. They couldn't have fluent offense. They were giving up inside passes and just easy offense to Louisville. But then Louisville turned the ball over 9 times in the last 9 minutes of the game. Fouled Duke 7 times in the last 9 minutes of the game.
Zion Williamson had 4 fouls for the majority of the second half.
Wow.
Zion Williamson had 25 or had 20 when the Blue Devils had 35. He was them. He was the only reason Duke was in that game for a while.
And then their other stars took over.
And then all of a sudden R.J. Barrett and Cam Reddish woke up and played the second half.
Well,
and
they were
not
just
even
like-
the second half. The last
They
10
were just
minutes.
like, hey, let's play basketball now. And
But that's the thing. You to Nathan's point, in the first half you saw, all right, this is why Duke can't win a championship. In the second half you saw, okay, this is why Duke can win a championship no matter what, because they can do this.
Right. But if there's a team that, plays well enough in, the tournament or, has a scheme and holds them, to that first half performance through the second half where they can't make a bucket, where they shoot terrible from 3, because that's their biggest problem, I feel like. Yeah, I mean, they could lose. It's not a team that's unbeatable, as we've seen with, games past, but also it's a team that should win the tournament if, everything goes right.
I would also say give some credit to Coach K for just coaching them through those last 10 minutes.
That was ridiculous. I mean, so many things. I mean, when you have that amount of talent on one team, you shouldn't lose any games. But I mean, those things happen. Like,
Right. I think
like Louisville was scared at the end. I mean, it didn't seem like anybody on their team wanted to take a shot.
Oh yeah,
It seemed like it was everybody's like, I don't want
just kinda
to
froze.
I don't want to make this worse.
Right.
Like,
they just froze up. But I think as much talent as there is on this team, you got to remember too, these are freshmen.
yeah, but then those freshmen just did that last night.
I know, yeah, but to Nathan's point, we can see why this Duke could possibly not win a championship, but at the same time, we also have seen how they can win a championship. I don't know. It's weird because I've always loved Duke basketball.
Yeah.
That's like my, I don't know, guilty pleasure team that I get to like, that everyone hates. But I don't know. Like you said, Jake, this team has just a ton of talent that's unprecedented that, you see arguably generational wise.
Mhm.
But I don't know. For me, it's just the fact that they are freshmen. I think you can't disregard that fact. I mean, look, just for an example, Io.
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, granted, it's Illinois and Duke. But I would say in the case where, with Io coming here, there was a lot of hype around him. You could say just the way he's panning out this year is what we expected Mark Smith to kind of do last year to an extent.
I mean, I hate that you just made that comparison.
I'm
but
just saying. I'm just saying.
I mean,
when you think about it.
that's fair. That's fair to an extent. I think we've seen more from Io of like why he was so highly regarded, and it's like shown that
Right, yeah.
like
What I'm saying-
Mark Smith, you didn't really see it at all in any.
Yeah,
game.
but coming
Ever.
in, we
Any
sort
moment.
of had that expectation. And I don't know, with this
Right.
Duke team, obviously it's a different standard where these guys were like ESPN, like top 100 guys. They were in the top 5 or whatever and all that, and coming in, and they're basically NBA ready. I just still think that, no matter how NBA ready these guys are, no matter how much talent they have, it's still a transition coming from high school to college.
Right. So you're saying like a team like that has more veteran, like let's say a Gonzaga, like could rattle them and then could actually like
Right.
put their foot on the gas and close it out.
Right. Like, I mean, on paper, just looking at the roster, this team should not lose.
Right.
This team should not lose. But I just think I'm kind of have that old school mindset in the sense that, hey, they're still freshmen. These dudes are still 18-year-olds. I mean, no matter how much talent they have,
Right.
they're going to have those games where, they could freeze up. Obviously, we saw that at least in the first half of Louisville. But, come second half, we do see now that even though they are freshmen, they can, be big boys and play basketball.
Right. I mean, not even the first half, the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, of that
But
game.
but I guess what I'm trying to say is that even though this team is just loaded, they are still freshmen, and I don't think you can just have that expectation that these guys they can't make mistakes and all that. How you just see on ESPN all this stuff about Zion. It's like, okay, but remember this dude's like what 18, 19 years old.
And he's built like he's 25 and
Right.
run through a brick wall.
Right. I understand the hype. It is well deserved, but
I mean,
chill,
the picture that from last night of him rebounding a ball and he's just compressing it. Like that
yeah.
was,
that kind of freaks me out.
it's freaky.
Yeah, that's
A human shouldn't be able to do that.
No.
A normal human person should
it's
not be able to
backwards
do
and
that.
unnatural, but I mean, he did it anyway.
It's scary, man.
yeah,
Like, I don't-
No, it's scary.
That dude's like a year or two younger than me.
no,
and
he's my age. And
Yeah.
he's
Okay,
built
yeah.
like I don't even know. Like
he shouldn't be
biggest
playing the way
NFL
he's
player.
built. He shouldn't play basketball, but he is playing basketball.
he's
anyway.
listed at 6'7", 284. I mean, he's
Yeah.
built like a bull. Like he's it's unbelievable. I mean, we could go on about Zion all day because he's just a freak of nature, but
Does ESPN sponsor this radio show?
yeah, right. I know. I mean, to be fair, this is the first time we've talked about Duke, I think, all year.
Yeah. I'm happy with that, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Alex said, Duke's just one of those teams that you love to hate, but I mean, you have to give props where props due.
I still like him. I don't care.
I mean, I think with Duke, it's kind of like the Patriots, where they just do it so often that it gets old.
Yeah.
It just gets a little old, and you're kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, because this is the third consecutive year that Duke opened the year with the best odds to win the national championship. Third consecutive year.
Because they had won it in 2015? Yeah, they did. Because I called it.
They
against
beat Wisconsin.
Yeah, I called
the
that.
year that the undefeated
was my-
Kentucky team existed.
Yeah, that was my best NCAA bracket to date. I was in the 99th percentile.
There you go.
Look at you.
Yeah. Since then, I think the highest I've gotten is like 93.
Yeah, it has been great.
Yeah.
Last year was really weird.
UMBC upsetting Virginia.
That was funny. I didn't care that messed up my bracket. That was just funny.
That was hilarious because their Twitter account has just become one of the biggest like trolls on the internet. It's very funny.
They dropped 80 plus on the best defense in college basketball, and you're like, okay, yeah,
Wild.
nothing makes
Virginia
sense.
always chokes though. They'll probably do it
Oh,
again.
yeah.
They'll probably
They
do
always
it. They'll
choke.
probably do it again
score
this year.
They can score this year, though.
But
That's
they
what we say
choke.
every year.
No,
They
no,
choke.
I know.
always
No,
choke.
No.
no, but we didn't say that they could score.
That was the
again
most
this year.
stern I've ever heard Alex in my life.
No, they choke.
Okay, you're right about that, and when we have clear evidence of that,
Alex
with
just
last
put
year's
him in a
tournament.
locker.
All I'm saying is every other year they played really good basketball, really good defense.
Right, and what did they do after that?
Okay.
Come March
I don't
Madness.
think I haven't seen Virginia make it past the Sweet 16 in like 6 years.
Right.
It's been a long time.
All right, guys. I'm not saying it happens. I'm not saying it happens. I'm not defending me saying that Virginia is going to do well in March. I'm saying that Virginia team could score better than any of the previous Virginia teams we had high hopes for.
Okay.
This is like when we talked about Bears Packers like a couple months ago, and it was just getting up on Nathan Hauer.
Yeah. I don't know why I got.
You got so mad.
I was just like, no. I've done these brackets for years, and Virginia always disappoints.
You're definitely better at brackets than I.
Oh man.
Don't tell me Virginia can do something in March Madness, but you're not. That's what I thought.
Alex is personally offended right now. Okay. Wow, that was something. Are you good? You okay?
Yeah, I'm just
You all
making
right
up
over
for Monday's show. That's all.
We missed you, man.
Yeah.
there? Yeah, he's just coming out hot.
Oh.
I want to talk about something, and we'll do it for the last 5 minutes. What are our thoughts on the Breaking Bad movie that's apparently coming out?
I still haven't seen Breaking Bad.
Yeah, you need Tommy here for this one.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of watching Breaking Bad.
Yeah, same.
Like I keep saying that I'm gonna watch it, but then another show comes up and
Jason, did you watch it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Movie on? Yes, no? What do you think? Yes or
I
no?
haven't heard it. Can I talk?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
ahead.
go for
I
it.
didn't mean to hijack
This
the
is
show.
Jason, our video guy. I think this is your first appearance ever on the show.
Yeah, probably.
All right, let's go.
Outside of me just like wandering around in the
Yeah, right,
background,
yeah.
something's not going right. Yeah, so I didn't even hear that they were coming out
Yeah,
with the movie.
they're-
I watched the entire show as it was actually happening.
Really?
So like literally old school waiting week to
Week a
week.
week.
That's
Yeah.
rough.
Ooh.
But that I mean I watch a lot of television. That's easily top 5 show.
Yeah, I think
So for
so
you guys
too.
to be like, "Oh, I haven't seen it." I'm like, "What?"
I've watched it twice.
Yeah, it's-
yeah. They said today that there's a movie in production, and it's gonna be about Aaron Paul's character. It's gonna be about Jesse after what happens.
Afterwards. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely all for it.
All right.
I would
cool.
go see that on opening
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, I think they
For
said it
sure.
might go straight to Netflix.
What?
I'm reading right here. Netflix will have it first, and then go to AMC. Opposite of how it used to.
Oh,
opposite
okay.
of how-
I would have
Interesting.
paid like movie theater prices
Yeah,
to see it.
I think a
but
lot of people
whatever.
would.
I'll watch it on cable
Yeah.
or
Good,
Netflix.
Good.
Or
Yeah, you
whatever.
guys need to finish that because it's so good. The end's very good. Okay, well that just shot that in the foot. Cool.
You want to
Cool.
just
Cool.
talk
Cool.
baseball for like 2 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I know Isaiah Thomas comes back tonight for the Nuggets. That's a big thing. That's a big deal because he had hip surgery. What?
11 months ago.
11 months?
11 months.
Is that that's his first hip surgery, or did he have another one? Didn't he have another one? I thought he had. Maybe that was his first. I could be misremembering.
I rewatched the highlights of when he played Game 2 the day after
His sister died.
sister
Yeah.
passed away
Yeah.
the other day, and I mean it is just like he came out. He made the first basket for the
Unbelievable.
Celtics that game. I mean it was a close game the whole time, and he was relying on himself to make those shots. You know, they pull off that win at home in the Garden. I mean,
And then he gets
I
traded.
cannot. Yeah.
I was gonna say the reality of what the Celtics did to IT is just unfair.
Oh yeah,
That's rough.
that. I'm still salty about that.
Yeah, you got Kyrie. I
mean,
know it was
yeah,
a it was
but
a business decision, but like
That's wild. Yeah, that was a wild
dude.
move.
Like what he did that day is just
Crazy.
yeah.
Unprecedented.
I can't imagine like what's going through your head. Probably nothing is going through your head, you know, playing that type of game. But just that's just something you see in a movie.
And he has the right attitude too. I mean, he puts everything on him. You know, the first quote that popped up when I googled Isaiah Thomas to see what was up there. Isaiah Thomas, my job is not to fit in; it's to stand out. You know, he wants to be the guy.
Right.
He
Yeah.
wants to contribute to this backcourt that already has Gary Harris, Jamal Murray, and is playing the second best team in the West right now. I mean, he just is reliable and he overcomes the fact that he's 5'9" and that he went to Washington. He
We're all taller than him, and
60th pick in the draft.
he would destroy us 1-on-1.
Easily. It's not
It's-
even close.
not
I would
even
be in the
funny.
hospital getting my ankles repaired because of what he would do to me. I thought he averaged 30 that year in Boston, but it was 28.9. But still, I mean, to be 5'9" and average pretty much 30 a game is that. I mean, that's some crazy stuff. I mean, people forget, was he first team All NBA or was he second? I think he was second team.
I want to say he
That's
was
a good
second, but
question.
he got snubbed.
Probably. Yeah, I mean, he's really good. I think people forget how good he was just because he's been out for so long, and he didn't have a great year last year with Cleveland and the Lakers. and he only played 32 games. But
Man, he was with. Okay.
he was with Cleveland. He played 15 games with Cleveland and 17 with the Lakers. But still, I mean, he's one of the really good players in the league today. And I mean, the Nuggets are a good team too, and they've been sliding a little bit. But now you put him and Jokic together. That's pretty good.
Yeah, honestly, what surprised me about this Nuggets team was when I remembered that Isaiah Thomas was on the roster. I was like,
He'd be
man,
back
just
eventually.
wait until this guy comes back. Like,
Right.
I'm just curious to see how this team ends up now. Hopefully, he stays healthy though.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy that averages almost 19 points a game for his career. He shoots 43% from the field, 36% from beyond the arc.
Pretty good.
5 assists a game.
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
he's definitely.
that.
I think he'll come off the bench, but if they give him the ball, he's the best when he has the ball in his hands all the time. He's making the plays. He's deciding what's happening with offense. If they give him the ball with that second unit, and let him do him, if he's healthy and he's comfortable, I mean, man, I really hope he has a special offseason or postseason.
Yeah. Is he a free agent after this year? Or no, they get him on a 2-year contract?
I want to say it was a
That's a good
2-year
question.
contract.
I feel like it was too. Yeah, but I hope he does well. I mean, he's one of the best feel-good stories in all of the NBA.
Yep.
I love seeing him succeed and just go off. It's awesome. But
Nicknames listed for him here are Pizza Guy and the King in the Fourth.
that's awesome.
I didn't realize that.
That is a
King in the Fourth.
I like
That's a
that.
great
I
name.
want
That
to
is
get
a-
pizza guy though.
Pizza Guy's a little weird. I would like to know the backstory to that.
Yeah.
I would like
King
to.
in the fourth though.
That makes sense. I think that came in that one Boston season.
Yep.
All right, to end the show, I would just like to throw something out there. There was a flight today that went from Washington, D.C. to Las Vegas, where Bryce Harper lives, to L.A. and back to Washington, D.C. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, and I'm also just hoping because pitchers and catchers are reporting, and just sign 2 generational talents. They're 26. They're really good. Pay them. Pay the players.
Machado's going to the White Sox, so
Probably.
yeah.
Just let's get this show on the road, okay? They're 26. They're really good.
Isaiah Thomas is Pizza Guy because who delivers it better than the pizza guys?
I don't know. I've had some pretty bad pizza delivery guys.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's weird. I don't like that
I don't-
one.
yeah.
They need
I
to
think
make
it's
up a
supposed to
better.
be sort of like a point guard thing. Like you're the pizza guy.
Maybe.
You're making deliveries here, there.
No.
Nah,
No.
nah.
No.
Out on that one.
That's
Yeah, King of the
stupid.
Fourth is
That's-
down.
King of the Force better.
Yeah.
All right.
That one's
Isaiah Thomas
goofy.
ditched the pizza guy nickname.
The-
Isaiah Thomas probably definitely listening to the show, of course, obviously.
Yes.
But for myself, for Alex, for Nathan, for Brendyn, thank you for coming on. For Jason, who made his first appearance on the show today. Woo! Well done. For everyone here, this has been
was
Illini
long
Drive.
overdue.
Thank you for listening. Listen to Isaac and Tati and Eli tomorrow as they wrap up the week. They'll talk about Ohio State and Illinois too. But for all of us, thank you for listening. Alex, hit the music.